mean, this is just a speculation of mine, that every time, let's say, Dr. Joe Blow from Cucamonga writes a script of OxyContin, that he gets a little bit of a kickback or something like that?
Well, that's illegal. However,
they can't get like golf course passes or.
Well, oh yeah, they get the wine and dining and all of that, and the cool conventions that are really vacations and all of that. But as far as a kickback, they get what's called a rebate.
So a legal kickback, because like you started to say, the kickbacks are illegal.
They have to pay taxes on it, I think.
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the government gets their cut too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One big shakedown.
Yeah.
What you were saying about the schools is it's unbelievable, but I get it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's hard to swallow, but it makes a lot of sense.
Whoever votes for or not votes, but uses the drug at their school and says it's good is going to get the money for more products for their school. So they're going to at least do that, say that this product is good, even if their best intentions is to get a better MRI machine to teach their doctors better stuff. They're still going to sell this drug. They're going to make it available for sale.
Yeah.
And it's horrible that society thinks that way. Instead of helping mankind, we're only destroying our own.
And then think of it this way, like we were talking earlier about your primary physician subscribing you Zoloft or whatever. Well, it's a lot cheaper to write a prescription than to send somebody to a trained psychologist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's just valproic acid, and that comes from the valerian root. You can just make a tea from that, and you go right to sleep, nice and calming.
Of what?
It's either Prozac or Zoloft. One of those. It's called valproic acid.
I didn't know that.
And that's what looks all mysterious. We don't know what it is, but it's just a tea. It's just a valerian root tea.
No kidding. How the hell did you get so damn smart, Joseph?
My grandmother, she kept me in the garden, and she made medicines and stuff.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
See, we learned something new today.
I'll go look it up, see what drug it is.
He's Googling it.
There's also like a herb or vitamin called St. John's wort.
Yeah.
And that it acts like a Zoloft or a Paxil or one of those for depression.
I thought that was toxic. Oh, no, that's witch hazel. Sorry. Yeah. I remember reading, was it Toys in the Attic? One of those books where, you know what I'm talking about? Where she was given no, that was cyanide on the cookies. That's what it was.
Flowers in the Attic.
Flowers in the Attic, that's right.
Recently.
Yeah, it was just on TV.
Yeah.
Valproic acid was Depakote.
Depakote.
You ever heard of Depakote?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What is that?
It's a anticonvulsant mood stabilizer. So, seizures and moody person.
Wow.
It's serious stuff.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it's just amazing the poisons that these companies. And listen, I'm not saying that it's, and I'm sure you agree that they're all bad, because I'm sure there's some medicines out there that society does need. But it's these ones that have the opiates and the barbiturates and the things that are just running rancid through our children on the streets. And I mean, Joseph, you know people that have died from it. I know plenty of people that have overdosed,
Yes.
I got a buddy of mine, our other host, Paulie. He just lost somebody to an overdose not too long ago. It's just, I mean, wake up, people, wake up.
And that's the, big pharma's, okay, but let's just say the valerian root for the Depakote. That comes in different milligrams?
I don't know.
Okay, so when we grow the plant, depending on what soil it's in or what region or what species we have, it's going to have different levels, and each plant's different, like the THC content in weed. So that's what makes it dangerous for us to do ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if you took too much valerian root, you would die.
Ah.
And if you got it, you're used to taking 3 leaves, and then one day you get a plant that's too strong, you die.
3 leaves are, yeah.
So when they bring it in the laboratory and cook it all up in their Alembic or whatever, and they can get the drug out and they can make it into milligrams that we can.
But then again,
So there's an argument for having
absolutely.
pharmacy.
I agree, and that's what I'm saying. It's not all bad, and Dina, I'm sure you agree. They're not all bad. There are those
Right.
pills out there that are a necessity, but I mean,
I think no matter what the pharmacy's doing, it comes down to the doctor. The
Yeah.
doctor is the doctor's judgment.
that's my opinion too.
Unfortunately, they're kind of brainwashed into thinking that the way that they're going to help you the best is by prescribing you the right meds. And this is going all the way back to Rockefeller, and he.
Rockefeller, okay.
I thought you said rock cellar.
That's what I thought. I'm like, who's selling rocks?
Yeah, I know rock sellers.
I know plenty of rock sellers. God, I'm sorry.
Okay, he set up the whole foundations that endow money to these medical schools, and he even expanded his reach into Peking, China back in the day, because again, you were talking about Eastern philosophy and the way their herbal remedies and all that. He didn't want that because there wasn't no money to be made. So
Key word: there was no money in it.
right, and money. Not to get too far off the track, but I was watching one of my favorite shows is Ancient Aliens. I don't know if you guys watch that.
I've seen it. I don't watch it though. Yeah.
Well, they had Nikola Tesla on it, and if you watch the show, it's a little bit hokey. They try to tie everything into, well, maybe he was getting messages from aliens, that kind of tie-in. You take it with a grain of salt, but the information was awesome, and the reason that we don't learn about him in the history books in school is pretty obvious. Once you learn more about the man, he figured out a way to get power all over the world for free. No one would make any money off of it.
Yep.
And he was so jacked up about it, he told J.P. Morgan that he wanted, investments to get this power thing going and that power thing going. And when they found out there's no money to be made in that, they ruined his career.
All over the big dollar, absolutely. It seems to be the trend of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know why they went with Edison? Because his light bulbs would burn out. When in fact the light bulbs that Edison has in his factory, they're still running from when he built them. They haven't burnt out. With all the power surges and all the hurricanes that hit Florida.
So the incandescent bulb was the one they went with so they can make money on it, sure.
Right.
And that's why they didn't go with Tesla's invention, because there was no future in it, sure.
And I didn't know this. I didn't know anything about Tesla. I heard of the car, but that was about it.
Oh, that's a bad car. Tesla Roadster?
Yeah. Well, that's just like the guy Tucker Automobiles. He built a vehicle to compete with Chevy and Ford and all of that. It was far more superior, better gas mileage, and you don't ever see a Tucker, do you?
I didn't even know what one was.
Uh-huh. Ford, I have a friend of mine whose father was an engineer, and he worked for Ford Motor Company. Ford has, and I know we're getting a little off topic, but I'll make this quick. Ford has engines sitting on the shelf in their factory or in their corporate location up in Detroit and all of that. They have engines, and they've had them for 30, 40 years that get 50, 60, 70 miles to a gallon, 100 miles to a gallon, but they'll never, ever, ever make it into a car because there's no money to make in replaceable parts. The fuel companies start losing money, and those patents were bought up. Yeah, those patents were bought up, and that's why I think that the government and the Food and Drug Administration got so involved with Big Farm and Big Ag, because they knew, oh my goodness, look at this revenue source, and that's all it is. They don't give a shit about us. It's the money that comes in.
People will pay or do anything to save their family from starvation or from illness.
Absolutely.
So there, they're kind of gouging.
Yep. Biggest hypocrites we have
really
is the government.
bad.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was another thing I put in my book, that was another interesting topic. I could probably write 3 books on this subject alone. I only put in a chapter. But they have this thing called the Charge Master.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's some kind of crazy system that they use to charge people. So let's say I have really good insurance, okay, and I go in for an MRI. Well, because I have really good insurance, the MRI is going to cost, whatever, $2,000. Say you don't have any insurance. Well, then your MRI might cost $100. Say you have medium. I mean, and on it goes. But even if it was like that fair, like it was done according to how great of insurance that you have, that would at least be fair. But a lot of times they don't even have it down like that. You could have somebody who's doesn't have any insurance and they're dirt poor, and they go in for an MRI, and depending on the hospital, they could be charged top dollar for the MRI.
I just went to Wikipedia and checked out Charge Master. I'm appalled. I'm completely appalled because I've got damn good insurance. Well, my wife's got damn good insurance. And that just pisses me off. So here's the first line, and I'm not going to go any further than the first paragraph, and then we'll get back to what you were saying.
You tell them you don't have insurance, and then when it bills through, you drop the insurance on it.
Yeah. In the United States, the Charge Master, also known as Charge Master or Charge Description Master, CDM, is a comprehensive listing of items billable to a hospital patient or a patient's health insurance provider. In practice, it usually contains highly inflated prices at several times that of actual cost to the hospital. The Charge Master, yeah, this is crazy. The Charge Master typically serves as a starting point for negotiations with patients and health insurance providers of what amount of money will actually be paid to the hospital. It is described as a central mechanism of the revenue cycle of a hospital. That is ultimately disgusting.
But they use it.
Evil.
Yes, it is.
Or it's a blessing. If you don't have insurance, they're able to lower your bill, and they can get more for the people that do have insurance.
In theory, but it doesn't work that way all the time.
I know. I did medical billing and coding. I'll charge you.
I mean, some people.
No discount for you.
I mean, if you don't have insurance and you don't have a house and you don't have a car and you don't have anything, you're onto something. But if you don't have insurance and you have a house, well, now they can legally go after your house.
Yep.
They can clean you out.
Oh yeah, yeah. They could do a lot to you now. It used to be where you could say, "Oh, nope, money, nope, sorry, write it off." Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard it costs like $2,000 to claim bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're claiming bankruptcy, obviously.
Where are you getting the $2,000? That's always been my question. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. Listen, I'm here to claim bankruptcy. I got no money. Why do you want to charge me more? I've always known, and I've always suspected, Dina, that it's been a conspiracy at the doctor's office to never find out what's really wrong with you, because then there goes your repeat customer. Think about it. If you look at it from
they don't cure you. They treat.
Listen, I'm about as obscure and off the wall as it's going to get. All right. So if you look at this from a retailer's point of view, all right, if I sell you something that has 100% guarantee and never breaks, I've got no chance of you coming back for warranty service or nothing like that. So as a doctor, if I heal you within the first month, you'll never be back. I'm not going to make that $70 a freaking visit. You know, not going to get those perks from the pharmacy companies.
That's where the doctors get a lot of money too. The visits, you know, because you have to come back for your prescription. But besides the fact that you're addicted, let's just say you need it, you know, for whatever reason, you have to come back.
And here in Florida, we have a huge problem with pill mills. I don't know if you're aware of that.
But let's face it, if you need, let's just say, drug A because you have illness A, you're going to need that for the rest of your life because they don't have cures for nothing.